Hi, everybody. This is Rita with Rita and the Breeze TV. And I have a guest today. We're doing a follow up with my love here today, Kenneth.
Hi.
A lot of y'all know her from the Liam Blair, Finding Her Brothers. And we're just going to see how she's doing and go from there and just chit chat a minute.
Sounds good.
All right. How you doing, love?
Good. Busy. I have finals this week and next week, and then I'm set to graduate next Saturday on May 3rd. So I'm in the home stretch, I just
That
have to
is
get
so
there.
awesome. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. So
Um,
it's hard, being like a mom and a wife and then doing all the things at the house and the kids get sick and their appointments and just, trying to manage all of that with school. It's a lot, but I'm almost there. So
honey, being a mother's a full-time job. I truly
Yeah.
admire you for
No.
going for your master's and
Yeah.
being a mother, because there's
Yeah.
nothing harder. And a mother never stops being a mother,
Right. I know.
ever.
Even when we're sick, like
Even
we're
when
on
you're
call
sick.
24/7.
And honey, when they're grown and got
Yeah.
kids of their own and
hmm
grandkids of their own, you
hmm
never stop being a mother.
Yeah.
That's the blessing of it all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love being a mother. I mean, can't say that, my kids might think different, but I love being a mother. But
Yeah,
anyway, so you just got finished talking, doing a video, a follow up on your channel
I
about
did. Yeah.
Albert. Tell us about that.
Yes. So they weren't really sure if they were going to be able to meet our bio dad and I'll let Leah and Blair kind of explain how they did that because they did it in a really, 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 really good way. Very smart. Like it's something I wouldn't have thought of, but I don't want to reveal too much because I'm sure
Right.
they want to, make their own
Yeah,
episode
we
and
want to
stuff. And
watch it. We just
yes,
want to
yes,
know a
I do
little
too.
bit.
Even though I know, I still want to watch it.
I'm
So
going to be one of the first ones to watch it because,
yes,
I joined their channel. So,
yes, I did too. I did
so
too. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I know like I knew the time that they were gonna go. It was gonna be like 11, no, it was 10 p.m. their time. So it was gonna be or 10 a.m. their time. So it was gonna be 11 p.m. my time. So I was waiting by my phone, and I was like, okay, is he okay? Why haven't I heard from him? 30 minutes goes by, another 30 minutes goes by, and now it's like after midnight. So I'm like, what is going on? Why haven't I heard from him? All of a sudden my phone rings and I was like, oh my God, okay. And it's Albert, and he's talking to me. I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's in the car. He's like this.
You
You
knew
know, his
he was
I knew.
anxiety had
I
kicked.
knew. I knew. Yeah. And that's like his tell, when he's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hold on. So he sent me a picture and then he was like, look, and he sent me a picture of them two like talking and them two like smiling, sitting next to each other. So I was like, oh my God, you actually did it. So
Oh,
he, but I think he was like shocked at the same time, because he didn't think it was going to happen. He didn't really know what to expect, like with what Brendan and Alex have told us, he didn't know how it was going to go. So he didn't know if he was going to be like, get out of my house, you're
right.
trespassing or whatever, right? So he was just so unsure. And then to finally actually meet him, he was like, oh, okay, well, this is awesome, and I think he was a little bit shocked
I would
because
say
they didn't, he said they didn't really talk much, blah, blah, blah. And then, well, as you saw from my video,
it's wanting to go in and out on
so
you.
I sent a video to Leah and Blair for Paul, and I was like, hey, my name's Kenneth, because they said, well, maybe if it's a girl, because you're his daughter, maybe it'll kind of soften his heart a little bit. So that's kind of why I did it. I wasn't really sure what to say, but
Yeah.
they were
Oh,
like,
I'm
"Come on,
sure.
yeah." They were like, "Just help Albert, it's to help him." So I was like, "All right." And then, I guess it worked. And then, at after he saw the video, and he said what he said, and when they said, "Oh, well, this is your daughter, your only daughter," and he was like, "Yeah, so far." So I don't know. It just kind of goes to show like
When I
him
heard
as a
you say
person.
that,
Yeah,
it was like, that was just not
right.
cool.
And a
It
lot
was
of
not.
a lot of people were saying like, well, maybe he was just caught off guard because, he didn't really expect this news, so maybe he was surprised, so he was shocked. Like I get that, but
Sure,
I
I'm
think
sure he was shocked.
yeah, but I feel like when you're shocked, your automatic response would be like, "Oh, really?" Instead of like, "Yeah, so far."
Yeah.
And then another part, I don't know if I told you this, but I forgot to mention it in my video, but he said when he knew about me, Leah and Blair were telling him, "Yeah, she lives in America. She has kids, she's doing really well, blah blah blah." And then he says, he asked them, he said, "Well, does she have a degree?" Like,
Asked if you
kind of
had a
like saying,
degree.
well, if,
He
yes,
asked if you
yeah,
had.
he asked if I had, yes, yeah, he asked Leah and Blair if like, if I didn't have a degree, I couldn't be his kid, right? And and if I had to be his kid, I had to have a degree because all of his kids are smart. And so they told him, they were like, yeah, she's actually going for her master's, she's actually set to graduate soon. And they're just kind of telling him a little bit about me. And he was like, oh yeah, well, that's because she's got my DNA. That's why she's smart. So
Little
no, buddy,
alien, isn't
maybe
it?
I have some of your DNA, but you played no part in this. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes. Donor.
So I don't know.
Like I
Yeah,
told
okay.
you, a donor
Mm-hmm.
is
That's
basically
exactly right.
all he was and is. I
Yeah,
hope things turn out okay for y'all, but somebody that
yeah,
arrogant
right.
in my many years,
I
God
know. I
can
mean, he's
change.
like 70 something, you
Yeah,
know?
God can change anybody's heart, though, baby.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's true.
that's the
And I
truth
think
right
that's
there.
that's kind of why I'm so torn. When I made my video yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I don't remember.
Two
Um,
days ago, yeah.
just to see like, okay, well, do I respond to him? Because Albert said, well, let me back up. When how they got the email was they said, well, here's your daughter, all of this stuff. And then they said, okay, well, we have some more news. We found another child of yours. We have a son and he's here and he wants to meet you. And he was like, no, the best I can do right now is give them my email. And so he gives them his email, he writes it down and he says, this is the best I can do because I'm not ready to meet anyone. So and that's how they got his email. And Albert sends it to me, and it's like I sat with it. I was just like, I don't know what to do with this. I
Right.
don't know if I should reach out because I feel like in a way, like now he knows about me. So now it's like, okay, well now it's your turn. I have his email. He doesn't have mine media. So like how would he reach out to me? And then on the other hand, it's like, well, I have his email, but if I reach out, what do I say? Like, hey, daughter, like he already knows that.
Right. Right.
So I don't know.
It's, it's not a
Yeah.
easy, it's not easy to try and deal with something
No.
like that. I mean, that's first off, complete stranger.
Right.
Hello. I mean, some people you
Exactly. Yeah,
connect
okay,
like,
maybe we
oh,
share DNA, but yeah.
I share DNA with a lot of people, but that don't mean
hmm
I have anything to do with a lot of people.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's just it. And You know, tell you a little uh story about my sister. My dad was in the
Hmm.
military in the Air Force, and he didn't do the whole 20. He did about 11 years because my mom didn't want to leave
Hmm.
and go overseas or anything like that. She's small town
Right.
woman, and that's the way it was. Well,
Yeah.
my dad went over to Turkey. He was
Hmm.
gone over to Turkey for 13 months over in Turkey.
Wow.
Well, when he came home,
Hmm.
my mama was 9 months pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
So you see, that's why I said a while back, I kind of can
Hmm.
understand where you're coming from. Um,
Yeah.
but the thing about it is none of us kids knew that.
Right.
None of us knew that. They protected us from it. Although my mom and dad got a divorce
Hmm.
uh, when I was 7. As far as my sister went, none of us knew that she had a different dad.
Right.
Although her skin coloring was a little bit different than ours because she's
Hmm.
half Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Okay, so we all have Indian in us too.
Sure.
I have a little bit of
Hmm.
black in me too. I'm a Heinz 57. A little bit of everything in me.
Yeah.
So, but you know, we never knew that she had a different dad,
Hmm.
and knew something was different because she had the blonde hair, and we all had the black hair,
Uh-huh.
and her skin tone was different. Where we would tan and get really dark, hers,
Yeah.
just a little skin tone different.
Hmm.
And we never thought about it. I
Right.
can't tell you how many times I got into a fight with
Hmm.
my sister because she's exactly uh my birthday's 28th of February, hers is March 28th.
Okay.
And we're exactly 2 years, 1 month apart.
Wow.
So I was the oldest daughter. So real quickly, um, I can't tell you how many fights I used to get into because they'd say she was adopted, and it would be like, no, she was not. It
Yeah.
would just make us so
Yeah.
mad. Well, it wasn't until we were grown, all of
Hmm.
us, and the guy that my mom had seen, his name was Victor. He shows up, calls my mom out of the blue, and wants to see my sister.
And how old is she when this happened?
My sister was, I can't remember how old she was, but I'm sure she was like 40s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did
And
he want to see her at 40? Like you
I
haven't
think
been
it
in her life
I
for
think
40
it's
years.
guilt. I think it was guilt.
And it took
Okay.
him 40 years to
It
like
took him 40 years. I think that
be
was just
guilty.
before he died, he felt
Yeah.
like he
And
needed
that's
to,
that's kind of what I thought too. Maybe he was like towards the end of his life and
yeah.
it's like, well, let me make
So,
amends kind of thing, you know?
well, the thing about it is I went over to my mom's and she was white as a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Mama, are you okay? And she goes, Oh, Rita. I said, You look like you've seen a ghost. What's the matter? And she says, Rita, I have. And then she told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly, uh,
Love you. Bye.
he
Mm-hmm.
he told my dad that he was going to fake being killed in an airplane crash because he didn't want to break up our family. Okay, so
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so that's where that
Okay.
that went to. But anyway, he wanted to see my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes down from Puerto Rico. He's supposed to be a big time movie star over there. And he has 7 or 8
Mm.
more children over in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
He gives
that's a
my
lot.
sister a ruby ring,
A what?
a ring with a ruby in it.
A ruby. Okay.
Uh huh. And my sister was like, whatever, come see
Yeah.
me if you want to or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know you. I don't care about you. So,
Right.
anyway, he came and I guess she kind of liked him.
Okay. Well, that's
And
good.
yeah, and he called her twice after that. And then
Mm-hmm.
that was it. Nothing else. And,
Wow.
I don't know if that was better to just
Mm-hmm.
cut it off or not to even bother.
Right.
You know, you don't know what to do. In her situation,
Yeah.
she didn't allow it to hurt her,
Good. That's
you
good.
know, because
Yeah.
she felt that my dad was her dad, even though my mom and
Right.
dad was divorced. And
Yeah.
he did her decent. So,
Yeah.
and so that's why I said a while back, I kind of understand where
Mm-hmm.
you're coming from on that,
Yeah.
even though it didn't happen to me, I went through it with my sister.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
you were
not,
still right there, front row seats, you know?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, Peyton plays. I can write a
Yeah.
book,
Right. I know.
But
I
yeah,
feel like it could be like a Netflix show, right?
yeah, I'm serious. I mean, used to tell everybody I could get rich off a book just in my
Hmm.
immediate family, cousins
Oh,
and everything. But anyway, it's not about me. I just wanted to let everyone know about that little,
yeah.
family secret. So y'all
Oh,
know.
yeah, absolutely.
I,
Well, and I think it makes you when you share things like that, they are so personal, and it makes you more relatable, right? Like I feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
someone out there probably is going through something similar, and I think that's kind of what I've learned through doing all this YouTube stuff. Not ever thinking I would make a difference in anybody's life, but I've had so many people comment like, you give me the strength to, go and look for my family. You give me the strength to move forward, and you're so brave. And it's like, these people don't know me, and then these people don't know you, right? But when
right.
you share these personal things with them, it makes you more approachable, right? It makes you like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going through that same thing and you handled it well, so I could handle it well, you know?
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't change nothing to the fact that that's my sister.
Right. Right.
I don't
Yeah.
care how much blood she had in me.
Yeah.
Me and my two sisters were close, very
Oh,
close.
that's awesome.
And she's
Yeah.
gone now, but
Mm.
still, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I want people, I'm an honest person, so I don't mind sharing my
Yeah.
life on stuff and especially if it
Yeah.
helps people. And I've
Right.
read
Right. You want a
comments
piece?
that you're talking about off of your videos, baby girl.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you
They're
have
so
made
sweet.
a big difference. And I
Yeah.
got to say something real quick. I know
Hmm.
you call me Grammy, and that's
Yeah.
okay. I got 15 grandchildren. One more is
Yeah.
not going to matter.
Right.
But girl, you ain't but 2 years younger than my youngest daughter. So,
Well, now you got to be mom. Mommy. Yeah.
but
Now you
Grammy
got you
mom,
got you got to be Mama Rita then. Say
hey
hi,
baby,
Grammy. Say hi. He's got
hey
yogurt all
baby.
over his face.
He's so
We just
sweet.
had some yogurt.
What was
Huh.
you
He's
playing with?
gonna be two. He's gonna be two the day I graduate on May 3rd.
Oh, really?
I know, I know.
Are
Yeah.
you gonna be
Yeah.
too love?
Can you say two? Two.
Can you can you go
Can
two?
you go like this? Look, show her two. Can you do this?
Two,
Yeah. Two.
yay.
Yay. All
Yay.
right. Now you're gonna be Mama Rita. That's it.
It doesn't matter what you call me, baby. As long as we stay in touch,
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I don't. There was just something about you and Albert that
Yeah.
touched me so hard. And then
Hmm.
when we actually connected, I
Yeah.
felt like there is a connection.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I think so too.
I just love it, and I
I
love
mean,
you.
I don't I don't normally just invite people to my house, you know?
Yeah. I know. And it was like all of
Yeah,
a sudden it was like,
I
oh my
know.
God, I'm going to a birthday party. And
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
every day I beat myself up over that dadgum birthday present. That's
No,
not what I wanted to
no.
get her.
Don't worry
And
about it.
but
Careful.
I'll tell you, there is so many people out
Mhm.
there that are so good.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot
And
of good people out
I've
there.
realized that too because I've seen a lot of, not so good things. And then with moving because, my husband's in the military and we move around and we lose contact with people. It makes it I guess it makes it easier to just kind of let them go because it's like, okay, well, out of sight, out of mind type
Yeah,
of thing. But in that sense too, we run into people who, oh, look, he says, Mama.
I see
Oh,
that. I
wow.
love it, baby boy.
Oh. It just, I feel like it makes it easier to run into like not so good people, because then you're like, well, I don't really have to see them anymore, or you
Yeah,
don't have the same interests, or maybe they talk behind your back or whatever, whatever
yeah.
the case might be. But I
It's
feel like it's,
easier for you that you can just forget them when you leave.
yeah, but it's easier to find those people than to find a positive connection. At least for me, I feel like, well, I don't really know about this person,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But when you find that connection, blood or not, like I have some blood related family that I don't even talk to
yeah.
because
Me too.
yeah, they're just not,
Yeah.
they're just such negative people. I don't want people like that to be in my life. I just don't have room for it. I don't
Right.
have room for the negativity. So
That's the
when,
way I feel.
yeah, so when you come in, and you're the,
Lost
you're
you there for a second.
this bright light, Okay, so I know we're not supposed to have fav I said I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but like I felt an instant connection with Albert that I didn't feel with Paul. I didn't feel with Alex so much, and I probably felt it more with Brendan than I did with Alex,
Yeah.
I definitely felt it for Albert. So
And it's
it's
so easy to feel a connection
yeah,
toward Albert. I
yeah.
think it has to, this is just me now, but I
Hmm.
think it has a lot to do with the spirit that's
Oh
inside
yeah,
someone.
yeah.
You can go up to somebody and not talk too much about, or talk to them for a few minutes and know,
Mhm.
ooh, something's not right there.
Right.
And then you go
Yeah.
through another one, and then all of a sudden it's, uh, oh, I like, I like this person. There's some,
Yeah.
your heart and your
Right.
spirit feels happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
get it.
yeah.
I totally get it. Yeah.
So, but baby, I'm on a time limit on this too.
Yeah. I
Isn't that
saw that.
crazy?
Yeah.
So I guess I need to cut it short.
All
I'm going to
right.
find another way to do this. I don't
Okay.
know how. I'm still learning all this stuff, but now that
Yeah.
I got, and let me show y'all, I got my new
I
studio up
know.
and running
Heck
now.
yeah. Look at your mic. I see you.
So, oh yeah, so I've got
Oh,
everything. I just need to
Pam.
learn how to
Yeah.
do it all now.
Right. And you know what? Practice makes perfect. Okay.
That's it.
So you ever
Y'all
need to
just be
show
patient with
Mama
me.
your crayon. Say, look, Mama,
I
crayon.
love that
It's
color.
blue. Can you say blue? Blue.
It is blue. All right, baby girl. I'm so glad that you showed up and showed
Yeah.
out with me. And
Yeah. Thank you for reaching out and thanks for keeping in touch. I really appreciate it. And
oh, you're
as soon
welcome,
as I'm
baby.
done with school, I'll be way more available.
Yeah, I'm trying not to harass you because I know you're busy. So uh I'm just gonna let you get in touch with me
No,
because
no, you're
it's easier.
fine.
Yeah. So, but you
You're
froze again. I don't know
fine. No, baby.
what's going on with that part, but I love you, baby
Okay.
girl. And I'm so glad you came on
It's
and talked
okay.
to me.
Love
And
you. Love you so much.
I love you. I've been practicing. Is that not pretty good? Can you see?
I love it. Yeah, look, look.
There we go. Awesome. All right, baby. I love you.
Okay.
All right. Bye
It's
bye.
good to talk to you. Love you. All right,
Love you
bye.
too. Bye bye.